Hello and welcome again to High Desert Home and Garden. We're back to our Troybilt carburetor rebuild here. If you watched the other video, you'll know that we determined that this little needle valve seat right here that lets the gas flow in is bad, and also that it doesn't come out. So in order to alleviate that issue, I purchased a brand new upper body assembly. So it comes complete. You got your throttle plate, needle seat, and your idle mixture adjustment screw already in it. Way nice and easy setup here. It's it's a really good thing that they come like this. I was kind of concerned that I would have to build it and it would require some assembly, but no big deal there. Everything comes together. 70, like I think it was like 80 bucks with shipping. But that's just because my address is unrecognizable to UPS. So anyway, let's get this thing put together. First things first, in here we need our needle valve, which I have two of now, which is fine. And then it needs to go on our float. Pretty much like that. Somehow. That doesn't look right. Drops in there. Your float pins on, or I should say it's supposed to pin on. Okay, so we have our float pinned, and then so when your float is on, you should have, which it's really hard to see in there, but you can see our little needle valve is in here and it is down all the way. That's good. So now, next step is to make sure we don't have any air bypassing, which for that I'm going to need this, and a wrench, because I put it back in too tight. Okay, so we remove our fuel fitting, as such. Not supposed to drop it, but anyway. And then, since we're so hopeful that this is going to work, we're going to go ahead and put Teflon tape on it so that it seals and doesn't create another fuel leak. These little tiny fittings and big dumb fingers. And now we'll see if I wrapped that the right way. I didn't. one thing about it. Teflon tape's kind of a pain in the butt, just for this reason. You have to wrap it the right way so that when you put your fitting in, it doesn't peel the tape off when you put it in. And I usually don't get that wrong, but today, for whatever reason, I did. It happens. So we'll screw in our fitting, and get my camera to cooperate. Need zoomed in. Okay, so make sure that your float is down against the body as far as it'll go, like so, and then and that doesn't seal at all. That makes no sense. Anyway, let me figure out what's going on and we'll get back to it. Okay, so the deal is our needle valves are actually two different lengths. You can see the short one here is the one that I was trying to use, and I have to change out for this other one, which is the one that actually came with the new carburetor kit, so we can get this job back underway, and hopefully that'll solve our issue. We'll find out soon enough. Okay, so I put my needle valve in here without the float on it, just for a test. We'll see if it'll actually go in, bottom out, and seal with the spring on it, the little clip on it, as such, and then we'll go back with the float and try it again. I think it's going to work now. Anyway, make sure we can see something here. Alright, so hang that back on there. Put that back on the float like so. And then put that in there. Get our float pin back on and make sure it still works. Okay, so that is working actually like it's supposed to, and then I have to decide which one of these gaskets I need. Let's see here. That one smells like gas, so that's the old one. Now we just got to match it up. We need one with 3 holes, so we need this one right here. There's really nothing wrong with the old one, but we've got new ones, so we're just going to use them. Now if I can get my, let me just use this big screw right here for a push pin. There we go. Now pick our float back out with our needle valve still on it, as so. Put it down over here. And set our gasket in place like that. And then we get to put this back on. Now what do I do with the pin? There it is. Okay, so just for grins, try it again. Seems to be working properly. Well, yeah, basically it never hurts to just go back and check yourself, because you never really know what's going to work and what's not. So now then, it's kind of next to impossible to orient this the wrong way. I think. Now what's going on here? That's all the same. Okay, good. So it's got to go like that. But for some reason it does not wish to fit. Well, it's got to go just like this. Okay. That's one problem with taking these things apart and then waiting a week to put them back together again. Now the only issue is our bowl, which is this piece on the bottom here, does not seem to want to wedge back together with the new upper body. Yay. Interestingly enough, it's not even leaving a mark that I can see where it is binding up at. That's not good. Anyway. Okay, well, let me figure this out. Alright, so what I figured out is it's actually binding up where it slides down in here. I can feel a ridge where the old upper body of the carburetor was. So I'll take some fine emery cloth and just try and buff that ridge out a little bit, and then hopefully this poor thing will slide together like it's supposed to. I think pretty much all that ridge was just built up from old gas, which is believable considering the quality of fuel available today. But while we're at it, we might as well go ahead and just wipe this whole bowl out real good. Get all the old crud out of here. Can anyway. Right, that's smells badly of gasoline. And we'll take some brake parts cleaner and just spray this out a little bit. It's not carburetor cleaner, but it'll work. so now let's see if this thing goes together like it's got some good sense this time. Okay, so our new half and old half have fitted together a little. They're fitted together now. It's a bit more snug than I'd really like it to be, so I'm probably going to strip the float back off and polish this piece here up on our new upper body. Let me get this thing back apart and I'll do that. Okay, so I got it back apart, got the float off, got the gasket off, and then again just some emery cloth as such, and I'll wipe this thing off a little bit. We're not looking to really take much off, just it's kind of rough, so just gonna clean it up some. And actually, I don't know how well you guys can see that. I can see it pretty good here, but anyway, you can see kind of how this thing was cast and then it was machined, and it was just a little bit rough right here on this one part. Concentrate on that just a little bit. And now, does it fit together? Still goes together, but it's not nice and easy like I want it to be. So I gotta keep polishing a little bit. Anyway, let me get this fitted. And alright, so we got it pretty good. It doesn't require a lot of force to fit it together now. That's an excellent thing in my mind. It does require a little bit of wiggle to get it apart, so it should be fine. But there's that part. Anyway, now I gotta put the gasket and the float and the needle valve and the float all back in it. Let me get this done. Alright, so we are back to where we were trying to get to a minute ago. We've got everything all put together on our upper body. We've got the float back on, the gasket back in, the needle valve's in, and so now we get to fit it to the bowl like so. See, nice and easy now that I polished it up just a little bit. Probably not really supposed to have to do that, but we are fitting new parts to old parts and so on and so forth. So we'll put our 3 screws back in here. Snug them up. Tight. Tight. And one more. Okay then, so now that part is done, finally, and then so now we have this piece here, which is our your idle jet basically. It goes in this part, this hole right here on the carburetor. So we just run this one in until it stops, basically. If it'll work right, that is. So I don't know if you can see down in there or not. Let me go find a light so we can see. Alright, so I've got my handy dandy light here. And you can, well, if the throttle plate will stay open, you can see, maybe, there's that little tube in there across the bore of the carburetor. That is the piece that we just put in. That's actually what allows your fuel to come up for your idle. Because when this thing is closed off, which it's, you know, it's not adjusted correctly yet or anything else, it's not going to draw fuel out of the bowl without that little tube. So that's your idle jet. I can get this light to cooperate. But anyway, this is a kind of a really neat little tool here too. It's a Poppy, Nebo Poppy. I'm not sponsored by them, and this thing was actually a gift to me from where I work at. But you can see it is a lantern as well as a really bright flashlight. It's proving to be pretty handy. Alright, so we are back again. Next thing we need to do is put in our mixture screw, which is this guy right here. And if I remember right, that washer goes there, which is just to seal this hole so fuel doesn't leak out. Screw that guy in there. We're probably going to have to back this out. And then snug down this fitting, like so. Actually, our jet needs to go in a little bit farther. Somehow. It's kind of a pain. Okay, so we put that back in. So you want it to run in and bottom out, but you want to still have spring tension on it so you can back it out and then it doesn't spin while the engine is running. So we will start with that bottomed out, and then we'll have to come back. I'm going to do a third part of this to show assembly or installing the carburetor and adjusting it, just because this has been a bit of a drawn out process. Anyway, we'll get back to this shortly.